It is the Next Level podcast, along with the Newberry News, our summer weekly series, catching up with college athletes from around the area. And our guest this week is a linebacker with the Finlandia University Lions, 2018 graduate of Newberry High School, David Carlson. David, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing fantastic. Thanks for catching up with us. Some great times wearing the orange and black and playing here in Newberry. What do you miss most about those days where you were suiting up for the hometown team?
Mostly I just miss being with the guys that I graduated with. You know, we had an excellent squad of guys. I think my senior year we had 31 on the team at one point. It was awesome just to see that many people come out and get excited about what we were doing on the football field.
That was a fun group to watch and kind of be around and cover. And you guys were such a tight-knit group, too. You had fun when you were playing. That was the biggest thing that stood out. You had guys that wanted to get out there each and every day in practice and go at each other. And then when Friday Night Lights kind of got turned on, you like to take it out on other people. One of the highlights from your high school days. Tell us about the nickname Spider, because that still sticks around and there's still stuff painted on the walls in the field house.
Yeah, so it stems back to when I first showed up for spring training my first year, like in high school, like 12, 14, whatever it was. My dad played high school football, and Coach Puckett was there, and he had eaten a spider at practice doing something or other. So we have the same name, so that's how it came about. And then it just stuck because I've always had really long arms and legs and been kind of gangly.
That was a talented group, too. A lot of the guys from that team are going to pop up as part of this summer series because they've gone on to the next level, and just a fantastic group of guys. What was it about your time with Newberry football and playing with that group of guys that kind of prepared you to move to the next level?
It was just knowing that you had to do more than what was asked of you. Everybody was getting after it, even when the coaches weren't there to tell us, and the coaching staff that we had was excellent. I owe them a lot of my skills and ethics too, but it was mainly doing stuff that wasn't required, which really put us in a position to be better and get me ready for the next level.
Headed up to Finlandia, kind of at an interesting time for the university there. The football program was new. You're kind of one of the foundational pieces there, and got to go up there and start and make an impact right away. Early on in your days at Finlandia, what stood out to you about playing up there?
So the main attraction was I knew I wanted to play ball, and I knew I wanted to play somewhere close to home. Like, I had several D3 offers, but Finlandia was the most affordable and closest to home without feeling like I never left. So that was a main attraction. Plus, the team, like you said, the team was new, and the skill set wasn't quite there yet. They were a club team, and I knew I would play right away and make an impact. So that was really attracting me there.
Started 10 games as a freshman, started all 10 as a sophomore, and got a chance to move around a little bit, settled in at linebacker, and one of the top tacklers, not only on the team, but in the conference as well. And had to go through a lot of changes early on. I know a lot of turnover in the coaching staff early on, a lot of guys coming into the program with it starting up. Mm-hmm. Those first couple of years, you kind of got to get the full college football experience. How did that prepare you to keep going through your career?
The first year was actually, so like doing the extra stuff, I know, helps, but college football is totally different than high school. It's a lot more involved, way more meetings, learning a lot more things that I didn't even think about, knowing the game better. Those were the main differences. And just we had a incredibly small team for a college team, but it was still twice the size of my high school team, which was a big difference. And, not seeing both sides of the ball was different, but I think I still got a lot of playing time. I was on defense and special teams, so knowing or getting that experience has helped me prepare and like step into more of a leadership role that I had last year and hope to have this coming season.
Mentioned all the talent that you played with in high school, and then you yourself, all conference in high school, both sides of the ball, all UP, all state honorable mention. But now you're sharing the field with the best of the best from around the country.
Mm-hmm.
What did you see from guys in different areas, and what stood out to you about kind of the talent and the style of football that comes from other places around the country?
That was brought to our team or
Yeah.
opposing teams?
Brought to your team.
It was interesting. We had a lot of guys from like Miami and Florida, Georgia area. They do things a lot different. They run a lot more spread, whereas a lot of UP teams are power football teams, which really isn't good. I mean, our coach, it was his first time head coaching everywhere, and he did a good job, but he wasn't like the head coach that a new program needed at the time. And we did a lot of power football things when we shouldn't have been. And he was from Escanaba, so I'm sure that impacted him. We had a ton of kids, ton of talent. Our quarterback was a super good athlete, Darren Johnson out of Gladstone. He was a fast kid.
With a new program kind of developing, players got to step up and lead. And as a freshman, and then again, probably even as a sophomore with another big group of young guys coming in behind you, a lot of leadership, especially with some of the coaching changes that went on from the players' standpoint. What did you guys kind of in the locker room as players kind of take upon yourself to kind of set the tone?
I mean, so my group of guys, we started there in 18. We started out, there was close to 30 of us in that freshman class, biggest freshman class that they've had for that football team, but we're down to like 15 of us still on the team. But it's a tight group. We all hang out all the time, and we knew that there needs to be a culture change, you know what I mean? We didn't, for the longest time, we really didn't have a culture. Even the first 3 years I was there, it always felt like we would bring in these kids and then there would be a lot of bad apples because, you know, we were just trying to get anybody. Yeah. But with the new coaching changes, his biggest priority is we need a culture, something that unifies us so we can keep kids. And he understands that not only do you have to recruit new people, but you have to recruit your current players so that they want to come back and play hard.
And your group has had to stick it out through some tough times. New programs often don't have success when they're joining a new level or a new conference, and you guys had to kind of take your lumps. What was the most important thing maybe you realized about yourself and about your team as you kind of went through those tough days where you're not winning a lot of ball games, and that can make it tougher to show up each day and keep kind of pushing?
Yeah, the biggest thing is when guys get poopy pants or have that bad attitude, you just got to get right on them. You got to push them around and say, hey man, we're all here, we're all trying to do this. Things aren't working, we're going to try something else. If you don't want to be here, then maybe you shouldn't be. But we got a great group of guys. Most of the guys that have stuck through it are from the UP, and I think that the guys from the UP tend to stay because they know the area, they know what it's like. Taking the losses was definitely tough in high school. We didn't lose much, but definitely the losses taught me that the game is much more than just wins. It's about all the memories.
Obviously, tough times last year. COVID wipes out your junior season, wipes it out for everybody. What was that like from an athlete standpoint, just kind of trying to navigate everything that was going on?
It was really tough. I mean, we were still practicing. 4 times a week, and just trying to get everybody together. You could tell practices were pretty dead sometimes because we weren't suiting up at the end of the week. So, you know, people were just dragging through and not really caring sometimes. But that was the hardest part, that we weren't getting rewarded at the end of each week for all that work we were putting in.
any extra motivation or excitement now that you kind of get to come out of it, and this fall you'll be back on the field and your senior year?
I am super excited. We have a new coach, Coach Mike Dufresne. He's from St. Scholastica. He's been around programs, especially ones that were just starting, and he's seen a lot of success. And the energy and his attitude about what we need to do and what we need to accomplish is great. It's super refreshing. And in addition, we're getting into a new conference. We're in the UMAC, the Minnesota Conference, and it's much more to our level of play, whereas like the MIAA, our old conference, was these schools that have been playing football for over 100 years.
Yeah.
Very good athletes. So that's really got me excited for this next season to prove what we can do.
Kind of are set up to leave a bit of a legacy at Finlandia. Your name's already near the top of the record book as far as I know, fumbles, assist tackles, total tackles. Do you think about that stuff at all? Not only just setting records, but you're kind of the guy setting the bar as one of the first classes to come through.
Yeah, I don't tend to think about the records. I mean, at the end of the season, it's nice to be commended for what we've done. But I'm just my biggest goal is I want to help secure a legacy for Finlandia football. I want to be the guy that helps lead these younger guys that we're going to deal with this year into a position where we can keep the program going and have a program that we're proud of and have another UP college football team.
For the high school kids out there, either playing here, following in your footsteps at Newberry, or just around the area that may be looking to get to the next level, what advice would you give them as they kind of approach that decision, or maybe setting that as their goal moving forward?
So anybody that's looking to go to the next level, you need to be driven. You need to do the extra things, work out on your own, run on your own, make sure you're in great shape. But the biggest thing is you're going to want to reach out to coaches. Coaches want to hear from you. So it's like going to their websites, finding who the staff pages, who the coach is, sending them an email, going on Twitter or whatever it is, sending them your highlight tapes. Reach out if you want to play ball. Coaches are looking.
It's going to be a fun journey here for you the last trip around. Thank you for catching up with us, and best of luck this fall.
Thank you.
David Carlson, Finlandia linebacker from Newberry High School, joining us here with M123 FM and the Newberry News.